Hey guys, it's me, and today I'm going to be telling you a story about when I hurt myself and had to have stitches. I've never hurt myself before this situation. This was on Easter 2016, and not very many people know the story because it didn't really happen during school time, and by the time I went back to school it was mostly all resolved. Like, I just had a couple of like holes from where my stitches would be, like there wasn't much to show. So I'm going to tell you this story, and it's quite a long one. So yeah, so on Easter 2016 I went to my auntie's house and I was going up to Cambridge the next day to see a friend. It was about 3 o'clock. It started like any normal family event where we just all hang out, play games, have lunch, have a roast dinner, whatever, and we had finished our Easter egg hunt. And like, looking at the time line, it was round about 3, and went downstairs. I had probably been doing something. My older cousin was upstairs with a girlfriend at the time, and I came downstairs to talk to my auntie. Mum's just turned the hoover on, so sorry if you can hear that. My 3 younger cousins were out in the garden. One of them was on the trampoline and 2 were jumping up at a fence. I didn't think much of it until I went to my auntie and I was like, what are they doing? She said, an Easter egg up on top of the fence and no one saw it. We guessed that you'd see it because you're the tallest. And I was like, okay, I'll go and get it. So I ran up at this fence and I jumped up with this hand obviously, and I grabbed this Easter egg, and as I came down I screamed and I threw this Easter egg and ran to the kitchen, and my mum and my auntie had seen everything. So they put my hand under a sink. They had it already running cold by the time I got in there. They put my hand under the sink, looked at my finger. Look, it's there. You can see like I've got a slight like thing on there. I'll show you like a picture of it now. So I and my cousin came running in with this Easter egg and was like, Pip, you left this in there. You dropped it. Do you want it? And my younger cousin is horrified by the sight of blood. Like, she goes white, and I was like, and at this point I don't like crying very often. Like, if I do cry, I'm sorry if this isn't in focus, but I tried. My cousin comes over, looks in the sink, and he's like, you dropped this, and then suddenly she looks at my hand and goes white. My hand was dripping blood and I was freaking out, and they were like, is she gonna die? Like, what's going on? We don't know what's happening. So I had my hand under there for about 7 minutes, and they gave me the old Cowpole bottles that tasted like strawberries for children. My dad came and looked at it, and he had to like pull it open to see what was going on. So he pulled this scar open, like this cut open, and he was like, we're gonna have to go to hospital. At this point I didn't know this. My dad took my auntie and my uncle aside and was like, we're gonna have to go, we need to take her to hospital right now. And I was like freaking out when I heard this, and they grabbed a massive roll of like medical gauze and wrapped my fingers around it, so I had like a ball on my hand, and I was sat there like freaking out. And I got in the car. I didn't have time to say goodbye to anybody. They were like, if you want to come back afterwards, come back. And my dad was like, I doubt this will happen. I doubt it would happen, but if we will, if she feels up to it. So by the way, if I keep squinting, I'm looking in a mirror to see when my camera turns off. Like, that's what happens. So I was a bit horrified slightly, and I was in the car and we were driving to the hospital closest to my house. There's one in between those, but we decided to go to the one I'm most familiar with because I hurt myself quite a lot. So we went to this hospital and we went running in, and my dad went to the receptionist like, she's cut herself really badly, we don't know what on, it's probably like barbed wire. And that's when I clicked. There was barbed wire on top of that fence when we were younger, and my uncle said he cut it off, but he may not have cut off like that bit, and my cousin may have posted this Frodo the Frog on top, like this barbed wire. And then I was like, that must have been there for years. That would have been there for 18, 19 years, and that would have rusted. So I start freaking out even more, and on the car journey on the way home, at first I just keep talking. Like, when I go into shock I talk for as long as I can until I just physically can't, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up, and then I go white and stop talking, and my parents are like, that's when she needs urgent help, because I hate like anything with vomit or anything. So he was like, I'm sorry, but it's a 2-hour wait. And my dad was like, she's gone into shock, like she's gonna faint any minute, and she's ripped her finger open on rusted barbed wire. She needs a tetanus shot right now. And I was like, oh god, because I hate needles. Sat down, and within 30 seconds of being at the desk and sitting down, a doctor came running out and like shouted my name, being like, come in here, quick, 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 and like hurried me and my mum and my dad into this room. And there was a guy there with like a broken ankle, and I just walked through and I sat on this bed, and he ripped these bandages off, and it turns out I bled through a whole tube of gauze on my hand. And I was like, oh, I thought it would just be a bit of glue on my hand and I'd be gone. The doctor was like, I need to pull your finger open to see if you've torn any ligaments. And I was like, oh. And when she said that, I was like, I'm gonna need surgery on my hand. But she was like, but first you need these shots. One in the arm, one, I actually still have scars from it. There's one there, and I'm pretty sure I had one there, but I'm not positive about that one. Like, this whole, after she jabbed me 3 times, I was like, I just don't care, just get it over and done with, I want to go home. So she jabbed me and it numbed my finger. It's basically numbed like that part of my hand, like all the way up. And she pulled my finger open after a couple of minutes and was like, lucky you haven't torn anything. That means all I need to do is stitch you up. And I was like, thank God. So she had to pull it open and sanitize my hand. And I was like, okay. And I had fake nails on, like, do you know like the stick-on ones from Claire's? I had the white, pink ones. They were this colour. And they were quite long, so I pulled the other one. Like, at first she didn't put them on. Like, she didn't bother with them. So she just, like, stitched up my finger. I had 3 steri strips and 4 actual stitches. And she was like, you're going to need to get them removed in a week. And I was like, okay, fine. So she wrapped them up. And then she was like, if you would go home and go to bed, like, I know it's Easter and you want to go and carry on seeing your family, but you need to go home, like, you really don't look well. So my mum called my auntie and was like, she's having stitches, we're going to go straight home. And she was like, okay, fine. And apparently my cousins were asking if I was dead or not, and they were like, no, she's not dead. And my auntie crushed the Freddo the frog. If my throat sounds bad, I think I'm coming down with another cold, so that isn't good. So she crushed the Freddo the frog, and I went home, and the next day I went to my friend's house. And I couldn't use a knife and fork for like a week afterwards, and removing the stitches was more painful than having the cut in the first place. Kind of ugly. It's kind of the shape of like a lightning bolt, which I kind of find iconic. Well, ironic, because if I jumped and went straight down, it would have just gone a straight line, but it didn't. It went like zigzagged and everything, so that was weird. So yeah, every time I see my older cousin, I always give him the hardest time ever. I'm always like, well. And then when I'm like, oh, where are we having Easter this year? My mum was like, oh, your auntie's, and I was like, no. So I always give him a really hard time, and my family. And my family always really laugh about it. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, at the time everyone was like, oh my god, what have we done? But to be honest, I laughed about it. And the next day my friend put her leg on my thing and ripped one of the stitches slightly, which was so painful. Like, throw up painful, like horrifying. So I will see you guys soon. Bye!